We live.
You, hey, so I
Mm.
like that video seeing everybody with their little look on their face and talk about what they talk about and all that shit. That's so cool. Fellas, what's good? We got to start with Frank today. You know what I'm saying? Frank, my man, down and out. Yeah, the nasty. What's good, Frank? How you feeling? Man? You all right?
I'm still under. I know you can hear it in my voice. I sound like I'm
Hey,
like a chipmunk.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
Ginger,
You look like your bed don't even connect right now.
brother, but I'm beautiful.
Hey, good.
Man, Slim. I just I feel better though, man. I don't know where it came from.
Mm.
I was tested twice for COVID. Both times is negative. So just congestion.
Yeah,
Not really the allergies. Took the Claritin and all that. The cough syrup. You just know you got to work his way through.
for
yeah.
sure, for
You
sure.
know. Um,
That's good,
but
brother.
appreciate it, man. Other than that, man, God is good.
All the
Son,
time.
my oldest boy, got a full ride to school.
Oh,
18 years old.
Yeah,
Up for little Frank, man.
yeah.
Praise God, man. Me and his mom was only his accountability partner. That was all him. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's one person that we don't have to pay for. So
Who
I'm
right with?
he has a choice of five. To
Oh,
five
sweet.
schools. We talking about
that's
Hampton.
what's up.
We talking about Southern U, Clark, a spot in Vermont and Tuskegee.
That's what's
Um,
up.
so we waiting on a couple more to come on through. So we winding down in time, yo. He getting ready to graduate. I'm gonna tell you, man. Now I understand what our parents went through when it's like when you got to release your child into the world. You're not really there to protect them like you used to. So that's even hard on me. But
Mm.
I'm happy for them. I'm prepared, and I understand that it was never me that was protecting them. It was always God, yo. Um,
Facts.
Absolutely.
so that's one thing I had to get through my mind. I was also there was an article written on me in Atlanta's Voyage ATL, bro. Y'all go check that out. VoyageATL.com. It's a magazine in Atlanta, Georgia. And
How
so
you
then,
local news and you live in Maryland?
hey, bro,
How you
hey,
do that?
Yeah,
hey, man, hey, God is good.
That's
God is
what's
that's
good.
what's up.
Any good is good. Any news is
Mm.
good news to
right.
me, man.
Yeah,
Other than
I
that,
like that sexy picture too. You,
Hey, that's a real
hey,
executive
hey,
CEO
hey,
status.
y'all can blame that on Rihanna's skincare shit on that day. You
oh,
know,
you got Fenty, huh?
yeah, 50. Hey, Slim, that 50 shit is serious. Um, but other than that, man, I've been doing good, man. Just trying to stay healthy.
Hey,
Stay
Slim,
healthy.
Uh,
tell Frank this, Joe. Now, wish this was explained more, but tell him like y'all all heard the stats where most people change their major like 1,000 times over while they going through college.
Hmm.
Tell him that yes, if he got an idea what he want to do, to choose a school based off of that, but
Hmm.
also more so don't trip on it because 9 times like his first 2 years, he's not even gonna touch his major.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be
Mhm.
all the little basic classes and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't stress over that. If I would have known that, I probably would have made some different choices in terms of school. You know what I'm saying? But make sure he know that part that is have an idea, have the direction you want to go in to help you select, but at the same time, don't be so focused on it, Joe, that if you because you're not even gonna touch it, you're not gonna really touch it your first and second year anyway.
I agree, yo. Like my first major in school was in information systems, so I was doing coding. I turned out to be a engineer. So I truly understand that. Like Slim, you'll change. You'll get around people and
And
change your mind. You'll get a job, a summer job, whatever, and change your mind. So
yeah,
just keep an open mind.
that's it.
Mhm.
That's it.
mm,
Just
That's
keep an
it.
open mind.
That's
That's
it.
all that's going on in my world for right now, bro.
Hey,
How?
let's keep it going. Shane, what's happening, brother?
man, it's good. I've been trying to stay light skinned, but it ain't happening, brother. Um, working on so many things on my plate.
My man is
But
shaving out and it ain't even summertime.
yeah. But you know what? I had a moment the other day. Cause sometimes, like I said, I got so many plates, so many things going on, and I was like, you know what, I gotta push this thing to the next level. And then it brought me to a conversation we had on one of the podcasts a couple weeks ago. Just being in the right location to be blessed by God. And my kind of what we was talking about off air, and it might be some because other folks probably going through it too. I just been going through it at my job to where the stress and the compensation really ain't worth it. And so I gotta, one thing I learned about us as black people, we like to get paid. White people worry about titles. They real big on titles. What title do I have? Me, if the title don't matter if one, if I ain't get paid what I need to pay, and two, if I'm stressed out at the end of the day to where I can't be who I need to be when in my home life and all that other kind of stuff. So just making some moves to where I'm better in the position to be the best me. Because at the end of the day, and it's crazy, my job is like they listening to me, but because they know sometimes if people don't appreciate your presence, you got to make them see your absence. Like y'all may not appreciate me while I'm here, but you're gonna appreciate with me while I'm gone. So now they trying to convince me to stay, but you ain't throwing no numbers at me.
Yeah.
And unless it's life changing numbers, nah, I'm good. That title don't mean nothing.
Yeah, where even on with my employer, I talked to some brothers who actually took a demotion, because the job just wasn't paying what the stress level was, and so I'm talking about that particular job actually lost three people, two to death, no four, two to death, one had a stroke, and one dude started his own business. Like, fuck it, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And they pay good, but it ain't worth what they do though.
Yeah, like
Like
I got
life.
I got a work phone, and 30 minutes ago somebody texted me about they paycheck because tomorrow payday.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't at work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not answering that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like the stress level for it, like, nah, it ain't worth it.
No.
Clock out when you clock out, y'all.
Get it and go home. Sure.
And that's it, man. Look, just long as you manage the other stuff right, let work be work. It's work, you know what I'm saying? And then everything else. I mean, work matter, but everything else that's on your plate that you got going on with the conference and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's the part that'll really stress you out because that's your baby. You know what I'm saying? Get on our nerves. So I already know get on your nerves.
Yeah.
You just gotta manage that. Take it step by step. Say don't skip no steps. Focus like you told me, focus on your focus. Lock in on one thing, one step at a time, and work it and work the problem or work it through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Michelle, LT, I know you doing good, baby. Talk to me. My nigga making money, he making moves, Airbnbs in Mexico, some more stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
That's what I'm talking about. The melanin popping.
Hello. You know. Yeah, God is good, man. God is good, dude.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
God is good. But yeah, man, like Miguel said, man, it's just been a lot of things popping off, going on, selling homes, buying homes. I bought my first Airbnb last week in Tulum, Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah,
Clap that up, Slim. Clap that shit up, Slim.
Appreciate it.
Slim.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, brother.
Thank you. So that's a huge. That was a huge step for me. Yeah, it's my first Airbnb. So but we swung for the fences with this one. A lot of people they might start out with their house or something small or whatever. I went straight luxury vacation, went where the numbers make sense at, because I ain't here to I'm here to jump in. I'm here to get paid. I'm not here to have something just to have it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just been in a space where outside of all of that, I just been kind of like reconfiguring what freedom really meant to me for real. More so like as I'm making more money, I'm just starting to see how valuable it's not. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see where the real value is, you know what I'm saying? You know, uh, just in a financial sense, I'm starting to see how less valuable it is, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking about, you know, some of the things that I actually want, like what is real freedom actually looking like? Like, you know, some people would say it's being able to go on that vacation when you want to, it's being able to I don't know, to not clock in or to go eat where you want to and things of that nature, which is cool and all. But at the end of the day, I'm always thinking like 50 steps ahead. Like I'm always preparing to be good, whether life stays the way that it is for a while or if it all goes to shit. And I think about it, and I'm always thinking about if it goes to shit. Like that's like that's one of my that's one of my go-to thoughts, you know, when I'm investing, when I'm moving money around. So it's like for me, pretty much what I'm saying is for me, like, um, I'm looking into like getting more land to have, you know what I'm saying? Looking at being able to grow my own food using aquaponics. I'm looking at being able to you know, of course we're already making money without having to depend on somebody else or something for real. Because I think that's what like the real financial freedom is. So and it's just crazy to see. And I'm actually reconfiguring like what my mission is as far as like how I want to serve people in the space that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like and kind of like reframing, restructuring what that freedom type kind of looks like for real for other people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so in the middle of me doing all of that, blessings are coming, ideas are coming. I'm getting connected with a whole lot more people, a different caliber of people, which is crazy. That don't even know some of the stuff that I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying? And this is kind of like where it's coming from, and where I want to kind of help push people towards.
Hey, bro, you are on to, especially when you talk about growing your own food, because you know there will be a food shortage.
Yes,
The price of food is outrageous right now,
yes, yes.
and that is truly what's killing a lot of us is the food that we put in our body. You know, there are certain things that aren't even allowed in the UK. The
Yeah,
GMOs and stuff that we have here is not allowed in Asia and things of that nature. So,
exactly.
man, you are on point with it. I just need to follow your lead,
Indeed, indeed. That's work, family. That's work.
Hey, well, look, you kept talking. Let's keep talking.
What's
You
going
might
on
not.
with you, though, brother?
Right.
Me? Oh, me? Hey, I'm living divine and fine over here. You
There
know
we
what
go.
I mean? You know
Divine
what I'm
and
saying?
fine.
Like, I mean,
Tabernacle.
like it's good. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know I'm big on the whole trust your process thing. And the thing about it is, we have no clue how many steps in the process. You have no clue what part of the process you in. You have no clue if you're in the beginning, middle, or if you close to the end. You don't know. But the thing about it, it's a faith movement. You just continue to trust God in every step of the way. Like I could easily be impatient about a lot of things right now, but I see the small things that fall into place. Like I was just telling y'all at the job, and it's something so simple with my job falling into place the way it did, and the money that I can make now, and the time off that I get, it's simple. Like for example, I got the boys now go train martial arts with LT, and that gives me the freedom to get them to and from class. They see a side from me that they didn't know that I had in terms of um, as we at home practicing their martial art. They shocked at some of the stuff that they see me do, and Tim be like, "Bro, when you gonna get in? When you gonna get in?" He put pressure on me all the time. One step at a time, brother. Let me get the little ones in there
Come
first.
on with it, dog.
You know what I'm saying? But so it's good, man. The process is good. Y'all see the marriage moments we doing good. We just hit they just let us know that we hit the we got 500 downloads now in a month. And like I just put a TikTok, I attribute that all to the wife. Like y'all know what I do in this podcast space, and in terms of like the ideas and the planning portion and how we should do it and how we should market it and all that. But the wife, the one that's behind the scenes that handle all them little audio clips and flyers and all that other stuff. So I had to give her like without her, it ain't marriage moments. It's just moments because I don't do none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that part, bro. Like I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the eye for it. None of it. You know what I mean? Like that's just not my lane. So big ups to the wife on that part. So like we excited about the conference we're gonna go in Atlanta and do. And all the other things, we got some other things that we already planning for. We got works coming on. I got listen. Wifey did the ladies take over the fellas night. That joke will be fire. It's gonna be something different. It's gonna be different all around. Folks ain't gonna be like you're not gonna expect a guy's conversation to go the way that I'm planning on going it because it's things that people don't talk about in marriage. That's the whole reason why we started Marriage Moments is to touch the stuff that people don't know about. People always tell you, "Oh, don't go to bed angry. Oh, communicate good and all that," but they don't ever tell you how that look like. Okay, how many books you read, how many stories you see. Like people just don't know. So we just here to give the real aspect of that. And we just got some things coming down the line. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be sweet. So I'm just appreciative right now of the space that we're in. And the more me and LT talk with time and patience, I see things more and more lining up. So one of my personal goals, and the wife notice, is for me and my brother, and this is a goal for our mother too, for me and my brother to be doing business together. And I'm getting closer and closer to that mark. So it's good. The process is good. I always say you trust the process, you fall in love with the process. You respect the process and you go through it. That's what's up.
That my God. Hey Slim, and there's that combination right there, you and LT, the world need that. The world need that. Our community need that. PG County need that. You and LT together, Slim. That's a force to be reckoned with, bro.
Like chocolate and peanut butter.
That's what it look like. You know, the crazy thing is I'm always thinking about this, right? Like, I got a sister. Like, some people know it, some people don't know it. But you know what I'm saying? My sister. So me and my sister are 10 years apart. Me and LT 13 years apart. And I'm just as close as her as I am with Tim. It's just that me and Tim, in terms of the sibling aspect, we just have a different purpose. And I'm not saying me and my sister don't. Like she might come in because she got some businesses she got going on too. She was on the show. Yeah. And I'm just saying what me and Tim got is something different.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. Slim.
It's something different.
When y'all get together, it's fire.
It's different. You know what I'm saying? So it's hey.
Shout out to Miss Hunt.
We both got the one. I think our biggest goal is that we want to see our family win, and we want whoever. We ain't putting no pressure on none, but the ones that want to do it, we're gonna bring them. We're gonna do our best to bring them up with us.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Shit, let's get into it. Let's get into
it. LT, you got. I mean, you got anything for us? Like, matter of fact, before we do, hey Frank, you got to cut out in a little bit. What we looking like? Keep us square. We want because I got to record another podcast too. It's not no game. We play. Everybody making moves around.
I mean, let's just roll in. I mean,
let's get right into discussion. I mean, a lot has happened since the last time we all met, and I know a lot of people have talked about it, but we haven't talked about it.
And I actually got tired of talking about it, but we can do it as 4 men. We can talk about it.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it. Yeah, we've heard the Dr. E's, we've heard the Zoe Williams, we've heard a lot of people talk about this, but out of this comes a great conversation of how Black men handle conflict with one another, and we had a show about this some time ago on how we should handle conflict with one and how we handle conflict, and we're talking about the good old let's get ignorant. Will and Chris Rock smacking on the show. Now, Chris Rock got smacked because he said a joke, supposedly, against Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. And it was pertaining to, I guess, her being bald-headed. Some would say that there was a little more behind the joke, the G.I. Jane joke, where the young lady who played in that movie committed adultery against her husband also. But that's neither here nor there. Will still got up and went to go handle business how he thought he should have at the time. Right?
He didn't think.
Right?
No.
He didn't think.
Well, he did. He just thought the wrong thing, because I mean that was a long walk up there. That wasn't 2 steps. That was an unbuckle. He unbuckled his goddamn shirt, and he pivot and slapped the dude. You know what I'm saying? And then he might have thought different once he sat back down. And there was also the report that Jada, she responded back later on saying that Will shouldn't have done that. That she's a woman that does not need protecting. And that's a conversation in itself too. So fellas, what says the group?
Well, for me, I'm put like this. I applaud both of them, right? So I applaud Will Smith for publicly standing up. No, I applaud Will Smith for standing up for his wife. That's it. I applaud Chris Rock for remaining not being a nigga with Will and going and actually, taking it to a level that it could have been taken to in front of the whole world, right? This ain't BT. This ain't the BT Awards. This ain't the Source Award. This ain't none of those small. This ain't at the cookout. This is in front of the whole world, like a multinational, international stage that we have right here. So where I do fault Will Smith is that he could have handled it maybe off stage, or maybe he could have said the same thing that he said at that moment. He didn't have to go get up and smack Chris Rock, who's a comedian. Like dude, like, okay, I get the joke was it was a little hurtful, right? I get it, but that's what comedians do. There's been way worse jokes that's been said towards people in the crowd, and you laugh it off. That's what comedians do. They make light out of dark situations. That's just what comedians do. So now, not only did you show your ass as it pertains to black men in general, and like you said, how we handle conflict, but now you also set a tone for the rest of the comedic world. Because I can speak from that space because I love comedy.
Me too.
I love stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of it all, from the 80s shit to from the 70s all the way up to now. I love stand-up comedy. So I think that kind of set a negative undertone in the comedy world. Well, now we may have to worry about, just at a local level, somebody ruining the show that I just came and paid for, you know what I'm saying? Because you felt offended and you saw what Will Smith did, so you think you can do the same thing. And it's not that. It's not that.
Shane, DJ Shane, what are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah. Yeah, one, I didn't know nothing about it till I think lunchtime Monday. And I'm like, what is everybody, talking about? One, I'm so glad that they didn't actually fight on the stage, because that would have been a disaster. Terrible. A disaster. I think it was life. Will felt like he needed to protect Jada. Chris Rock told the joke. One thing, I'm just like LT. I love stand up and everything. But one thing I always learn, freedom of speech is definitely free, and you have every right to say what you want to say. I think it just shows that we all are humans. So to some person it's a joke, but you never know what someone else is dealing with. And one thing you have no control over is a person's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to tell all the jokes and say what you want to say, freedom of speech. But one thing you have no control is how someone is going to react to whatever you say. And the same way, it's just like the same way, Will had a process of thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, if I go up and slap this dude, how far left could it go? what could it affect? What could it, you got to think about the whole process. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Chris. It's just like in the streets, it's full of dudes in prisons or in graves because they wanted to prove that they wasn't a punk to somebody that they felt disrespected to. But you have no control over the reaction that you're gonna get. So some youngers may disrespect one of us. One of us may be cool enough to walk away, but one of us is like, today, not today. Shoot all of them up. And the one person that survived was like, man, he ain't had to do that. Yeah, but you don't have no control over how someone is going to react to whatever you say to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris told a joke, but once you tell a joke, you got to deal with whatever reaction comes from it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my take on it.
But Shane said it though. That's the whole thing. It's reactive versus responsive. You say he thought about it. He didn't think about it. He was reactive. He emotionally responded to a situation.
Yeah.
Chris Rock, if you want to break it down, that was responsive in that. And the reason why he may have been responsive for it's a couple of reasons you could talk about. Oh, Chris Rock not about to fight nobody and all of this other stuff. But let's just keep it on the basic level and say that he was responsive in the sense that, yeah, he was stunned. He ain't know what to do with that. Like we all was. Like everybody.
That's called the fight or flight is what he went through.
And he thought of, and I think he processed like, this ain't the place, this ain't the for that or whatever. Even afterwards, he could have like the police went to him. What do you want us to do? They gave him the options. What's my man that produced the Grammys? I forgot his name. What's his name? Will Packer.
No, it was the brother though.
Yeah, whatever his name is, I forgot his name. He said that he actually told Rock, let the police explain all of your options, and he still didn't want to press charges. He still could have took it to another level and things like that. I think that Will, like you said, that just happens to be the straw that broke the camel's back. They've been in the light for a long time about what their marriage is or what ain't. If he was cheated on, if he wasn't cheated on, how Jada disrespects him. Even with this comment for her to say that she wish he wouldn't have did that. I don't need to be protected. They saying that that's like still her not standing behind him. I kind of agree with that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Still her not standing behind him, like, throwing him out there by himself once again. You know what I'm saying? But I get it.
I want to pose this point to you. You and I both do work with our wives. Like, so I've done radio with Toya, and you currently do a podcast with your wife. And so they have the Red Table Talk. And a lot of their business goes out to the public. And so this guy has been made a mockery of time and time again, not only some may say by his wife, but by public opinion. And so by public opinion, people laugh at the shit that he goes through, i.e., the entanglement. What is an entanglement? An entanglement is whatever the fuck they want it to be. But it was what some would say, well, she brought another man into the house, or she was fucking around with her son's friend, or whatever. And that whole thing turned into a meme with him crying and all that shit. And so what it also looked like was that smack wasn't for Chris. Like, that smack could have been for Jada.
That smack for everything.
Yeah,
for the world.
Yeah, that smack was for that smack wasn't just, if anybody, and I've heard a couple people say this, if anybody think that smack was just for what Chris Rock said about that movie, but you referring to her about that movie, because I want y'all to be clear about this movie. I love military movies, so this is a movie I watched over again. That's a fire movie. Like, it would be put like it wasn't even the joke wasn't that funny, but you think about something like that. Man, if Jada played a badass chick that, like a pot too, that'd be dope. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about that, bro. That was about that goes everything. Whatever he's dealt, everything that he's had to take as a man with his wife, with that whole entanglement shit, with his kids, how he parent, how he don't parent, all of that stuff. I think with the problem, I think this. I'm gonna say it like this. I think the problem is, like, for example, it's really no difference between the Red Table Talk in Marriage Moments with Miguel and Kim. The biggest difference what people might not understand is that, yeah, Miguel, y'all gonna be putting y'all put y'all business out there. Let me help y'all understand something. You will never ever hear anything that me and my wife go through while we going through. You will hear it when we talk about it, and when we've settled it, solved it, resolved it, got the answers from it, learned and grow from it, and we got solutions. That's when y'all will hear from it, because at that point, now we can give our opinion or what advice on how we handle the situation. You won't get it from us while we going through in the middle of it. Like I felt like some of their stuff, it wasn't while they was going through it, because like for example, the entanglement thing had happened a long time ago, and it just so happened to come out when it did, because Alcina that month he had an album that was dropping that was some trash that he was putting out at the time, and I believe that was all part of the stunt to help getting them some whatever. But regardless of what, they didn't really necessarily have control of it, and they had to try to gain traction on it when it happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's our biggest thing. Like ain't nothing gonna happen. Won't nobody be able to attack us or come at us because of something that we didn't know or we didn't understand or whatever. Like since some people say that Jada should have stopped him. She didn't know that Biden was gonna get up there and do that. She didn't even know that. Even the way he walked up there real cool and did his jacket, she didn't know that he was about to cock that hand back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would think that she don't know her husband then, because they've been together this damn long, and you've seen him react several times. There is no doubt in my mind that Kim don't know when you about to go the fuck off. I mean, you could be about to smile. She know Miguel about to go the fuck off.
That's true too. That's true too. But if you seen that one video when he was doing all that cussing at Chris Rock and everything, she never even looked over at the man.
Yeah.
She just kept looking forward. She never even looked at him while he was doing all of that. She never even looked at him. She never even looked over his way.
Embarrassment.
Nothing to say. Calm down. None of that shit. She kept looking up there, and it even looked like she was laughing after it was done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of opinion on this. A lot of ways that I can think. It is what it is. That's one. It is what it is.
Yeah.
My thing out of all this, and Whoopi Goldberg commented on this. In short, she pretty much said that it sucks that in the black community, how one black man or one black woman do something that's supposed to be a representation of every black person in the world, and it shouldn't be, and that sucks. You know what I'm saying? That's like I've heard many people say it. LTF said, the country in a recession, or whatever the president do is going to affect this and affect that. And these will be the real entrepreneurs that understand how to navigate this stuff and do things like that. They straight up and said, he can do whatever the hell he want to do. I ain't about to lose no sleep. I'm not about to lose no money. I'm about to keep on pushing, and I'm about to keep on growing.
Exactly.
And you can find statistics and on paper where there's plenty of black businesses, millionaires that was produced in the time that they say that we shouldn't have been producing out. But that's what they care about with all of that other stuff.
Wall Street.
They kept doing what they was doing. This the same thing. Like he did what he did on his situation. Like y'all don't know what he dealing with at home. That whole Chris Rock may have not known about the alopecia, but y'all don't know what women's hair thing. That's a big thing. Y'all don't know what he dealing with her crying at home and all of that other stuff. What she going through and what it take. It was just it. What it is. I mean, yes, we all know it could have been handled different. You know what I'm saying? We all know that whole situation, everything about it could have been all done differently. That's the main praise about what it was or what it wasn't. Like, it's understood. You know what I'm saying? As far as hey, you know what? That it just brings light to the whole phrase. What's understood don't got to be explained. Chris Rock was like, it's a G.I. Jane joke. Will Smith still yelling, keep your name out your mouth. He has no clue what's behind that joke or reason why we were launching like that. Yeah, it had to be explained because he didn't understand the situation. He didn't know.
I will say that this is a mirror of the fabric of our society, that when black men get into it, it's only for a number of reasons. And a lot of times it has to do behind a woman. Whether I lost a good friend fighting over a woman. He lost his life. He lost his life fighting for a woman, fighting over a woman. I don't know. I wouldn't call it necessary. He wasn't protecting her, but she was the center of the attention. Now, would you say that LT would you say that that she was the center of attention, or was Will's ego really the center of attention?
That's tough. That's tough to say because uh it's kind of it depends on how he thought on what was going through his head when he heard that joke. Because on one end you could say, like, let's say for example, like we said, this slap was probably for the world. If this slap was probably for the world, then I would lean more to the ego side. It was him and his ego, him being driven by his ego. But then if he was truly, if this was truly about the joke and about him, about the whatever whatever Jada is going through with this alopecia thing, then you could say that she was the actual center. But like I said, the way that smack looked, it looked as if it was for the world. So in that case, I would have to say, to me, it looks like an ego thing more than him really protecting this woman. And maybe it was both. Maybe it was both. Majority of him being the ego of his ego, but with a side of him protecting his woman. That was just a vehicle to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, DJ Shane. So, have you read Will's book yet?
Nah, it's in my Amazon queue.
Tempo.
Based on my checking account, I haven't ordered it yet.
My man.
It's coming up soon.
So in the book he talks about a party that he planned, and the party had Mary J. Blige, everybody there coming. He spent money, he brought her family out, the whole nine. She shut it down. She said, that was the biggest, spotlight on your ego, and it wasn't about me. My question to you, DJ Shane, is when do you know that? How do you know when you're expecting too much from a woman?
Oh, I think when you, it's almost as if your happiness is attached to her being happy. Him being fulfilled as a man was attached to her appreciation of that party. And one, you got to know the person that you're with. See, me, I probably would have been Jada in that sense. Like, you got to know what satisfies me. Having a room full of celebrities, may not have satisfied, and a big party may not have really satisfied her, and that was more something that Will would have preferred for his birthday. But sometimes people got to learn to love you the way that you need to be loved, not really how they want to be loved. So you gotta know the person that you with, and know what speaks to their heart. Like I said, because we all seen the clip of Will dancing at his party, so obviously that satisfies him. When it comes to celebration and everything. So it kind of goes back. I know you had said, we talked a couple weeks ago, like, sometimes as men, if you're not in tune and in sync with your partner, you tend to place that value of their happiness as you being happy. And that's when you're all wrong.
I sense like competition too, yo. I sense competition in relationship. I think we all have probably maybe have experienced that at one point in time of our life, been in relationship, not even if it's your insignificant other, but just in a relationship with a person, and they're very competitive with you, right? So, Miguel, true or false, can you be an average or mediocre person and still demand that a person be just committed just to you? And I'm saying that because Will Smith he's bigger than life in Hollywood, got the bread, and she got bread too, and she's bigger than life too, but she's not a Will Smith, right? She's not a Will Smith, but she had all this, and who knows who he had, right? But can you be a mediocre, average individual and still expect for a person to be just accountable just to you?
I don't get. I don't understand the question in terms of like, what is that? Like, what do you mean? Like, how so? Because I mean, think about it like this. I'm gonna need you to break it
I'm
down.
making here we go, plain and simple.
Because
This
for
right here.
Will, listen, because for Will and Jada,
Mhm.
like, yes, we see them as superstars, but to them they just Will and Jada.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That they don't see none of that because they
Mhm.
got that's nothing to them. You see what I'm saying? Like that, so they don't see all of that other shit. Like
Mhm.
they refer if the world refers to Jada as Jada, Will don't refer to Jada as Jada. He call her something else. You know what I'm saying? Or Will's actual name, whatever it is, she might not call him Will. She might call him Willard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that for them, so what are you saying? What do you mean by that? Like, how can you be average or mediocre? Because
You can be mediocre in bed. You can be average in bed. Like, so to us, we, to the average below Joe, they make a bunch of money. Woo, we may see them as above average, but like you said, in their household, they may see each other as equals. Well, she's complaining about him, his love making, right?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but what's
She
that?
did.
Yeah. She said that he was mediocre. That at one point in time that she wasn't feeling him.
She low key.
But see that could be
That's what
you.
she did.
With women is she could not have been feeling him because of where they were at in their relationship. You know what I'm saying? If as we know with women, they more than just us. We see a nipple, it's time to go. With them, they package a little different. So if the relationship is off, as men, we might just look at it like, it's time to get some. But to them, they can't function in that zone because the relationship is off. So she might not have been satisfied because where their relationship is and Will like, look, I want some, but because of where their relationship is at, she like, I ain't really feeling that. So Will could have came in with, whatever, it did whatever, but because their connection was off, it didn't, it just didn't, just didn't do it for her. I think that just goes back to knowing how a person needs to be loved. Because for you, it's just like you could buy your wife something, and in your mind, man, I spent 15 G's for this Birkin bag. I'm the man. But in her eyes, she like, I don't need that right now. I need some, I need a thumb drive to do some extra work with my business. That would have made my day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes we could be like, oh, well, she don't appreciate nothing. Well, no, you wasn't paying attention to see what that person actually needed. You know what I'm saying? So I guess Miguel probably looking at like categorizing someone as mediocre, but in their eyes, it's an act of love. But if you're not reading where that person is, they're not going to receive.
I like that, Shane. I like that. I like that. But let's bring it down to our level then, right? So we're all working class men, and as a working class man, if your woman's at home being average and mediocre, should she be able to demand that you just be with her?
But what the hell I still ain't getting what you saying about being average or mediocre. Like, what
So I get it.
For me,
I don't think you can. You said and demand what?
In demand that you just be committed to just that person.
Well, it kind of goes like back into what Shane was saying. Like, I think from love comes the respect aspect. Like Shane was saying, like, for me, in my experience, I know when my wife is not getting her cup filled the way that she needs it to be filled, she's snappy, she's frustrated, she's not herself, right? So and sometimes I don't realize what's going on. I'm just thinking, man, you not grateful, you this, you that, you da 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 da. Like, I don't even want to deal with you right now. You know what I'm saying? Until I slow down or we have a conversation, whatever comes first, of what's actually going on. You're not filling my cup up. You're not writing the notes that I like you to write. Like, yeah, you took me here, you got me this, but that's not what I want. That's not what I'm looking for. You kind of fell back into this. And then I realized, like, oh man, I have been doing it. And I noticed that this is where the change started happening. Mm-hmm. This is where we reverted back to this type of behavior, whatever the case may be. It's just because the love that she wanted to receive wasn't being there. So in a sense, I was being mediocre in loving her in her love language. So that women, we want respect. Women want love. Like, I receive my love through respect.
Yes. Like most men do. Yes.
Like that's how we are. You know what I'm saying? But that, like it's just like the nature, how the nature goes. We give, they receive. Mm-hmm. We give love, they give us the respect. Mm-hmm. As kings or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So I just noticed that in that dynamic, you really can't demand that I don't think you can demand that level of respect if you're not giving, if you mediocre as in that sense.
So I think my problem with it is using mediocre or average. So I think pretty much all you saying is if you're not fulfilling a certain aspect of your partner. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
Yeah, it could be just a specific aspect of yourself. If you mediocre in life, period. If you're not following your passions, going after doing your very best, should Miss Brown say, okay, you know what, just you're not enough, Slim. You're not enough, or should she be like, I got to deal with. I'm gonna deal because this is who he is.
But if she don't know that I got more potential, if she in the same space, then we both average and we both mediocre. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. The biggest at the end of the day, and I'm not going to give too much of this away. So It's a communication piece. It's a gap. I don't give a shit how long you've been married. It's a gap. Mm-hmm. It's a communication gap there. And some people are like, oh my God, we talk. No, it's bullshit. It's a underlying thing that still is not being said. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's an underlying thing that's not being said. And let's like since we referenced this, let me break this down. Sex within a marriage. At one point, right? At one point, this is not in my marriage. This was my first marriage. This time I'm like 21, 22, 23. And the issue that was happening within my first marriage in regards to sex, I'm like, what is going on? At the same time, newly married only but maybe 2 years, 22, 23 years old, but my uncle, who's let's say 45 and been married 10 years, having the same problem. We can sit in the room and have the exact same conversation. Wonder why we can have the same conversation? Because we both got the same problem. What's the real problem? The real problem ain't that I ain't getting none or whatever, that she ain't giving it up. The real problem is a communication gap, and it's not happening. It's things that's not being said that should be being said because it's things that's not understood. It's things that are not being said, and it can simply be said as people not thinking of one thing connecting to another thing. It be thinking, I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever. Man, we're gonna be together. We talking about a lifetime. You think you're not gonna hurt my feelings? You think I'm always gonna like you or you gonna like me? Like it's a communication gap that's missing, and it's something simple, it's something small. Me and my wife had a breakthrough recently. You know what I'm saying? Where we've been together 10 years, be married on 8, come to 11th. That I didn't know, and she just shared this particular thing with me, and it made everything click. It's all in understanding. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you want to keep it in the context of average or mediocre, the average or mediocre individual that is set in his ways and not trying to understand anymore, trying to learn anymore. I got you, and that's it. And then in that case, you expecting me to, to stay with you and be with it. Well, if your person is just complacent, want to be in their box and comfortable, then they'll deal with it. But if they not, and they do want a different level of understanding and things like that, then they're not going to want it. Then you can't demand me to just sit here and be in this, and I don't want to be in this, and you not put it, the effort's not being put up. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not it. So yeah, in that sense, no, hell no, you can't you can't demand more from somebody if that individual reaching for more, want more, desire more, whatever that more may be, and you just like, well, this it right here, and you ain't trying to do no more. What you expect?
Right.
You can't expect that person. Don't be surprised when they cheat on you. Don't be surprised when they say, I need time away from you. You can't be shocked about that stuff. Let me tell you a thing about expectations. When you understand the things that you're doing will lead up to a certain expectation, it ain't no getting mad about it, bro. Like I'm teaching the kids this, I tell the wife this all the time. When you know how a person's going to act and you know what to expect from an individual, you ain't no need to get mad about it because you know that's what's coming. It's the same thing. And just in the context of that question, like, so, you know what I'm saying, when you put it in these parameters and everything, hell nah, like, if one want to grow and the other one ain't showing up nothing that we gonna, in this area, we gonna fix it and grow and whatever, then nah, Joe, nah. Like, and I feel like that whole, like, with the whole thing with the whole thing with August, right? People, I think that what their biggest mistake was that they labeled it something else. If they would have just said that they were separated at that time, this conversation would be completely different in regards to having August in there. Because what I believe, once you read the book and you listen to certain interviews, that at that time they were separated because it was a big time where, just like Shane said, without Shane reading the book, he hit it on the head. He told her sometime after that party, I can't be your happiness. You got to go figure it out. But when you figure it out, we still gonna come back together, right? I believe that was their separation time, and I believe at that same time, that's when she started messing around with old boy. But at the same time, it's not that Will didn't know. If you read in his book, my man spent a lot of time overseas in the Maldives or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And over there, he spent a lot of time without her and the kids while he was over there. He talked with a lot of like different gurus trying to figure himself out. I believe that was the time when all of this stuff happened, and it's not that he didn't know. It's just that it is what it is. Like I think
the man cried on camera. I don't know. I mean that I don't. I mean, I hear you. I clearly hear you. I mean, it was done inside his house too. So you know, but while I'm over in the Maldives getting myself together for us, you slanging you know your child's friend.
It depends on how they talked about it. Me and my wife went through it, and we had a conversation. Like, you know, it wasn't a plan to be like, hey, you go date other people and I go date other people. It wasn't no shit like that. Our conversation was, we need time. We need time apart right now. If something happened with somebody outside of that, I don't want, our conversation was, we didn't want to know about it. You know what I'm saying? Around those parameters. It's more to it than that, but it was around that. Like, you have those, you really want to have those conversations, you're gonna have them real conversations. You know what I'm saying? Me having gone through a whole marriage and separation and divorce before, I know what that shit look and feel like. You know what I'm saying? And so I can have those conversations. She might not want to hear it, but I'm gonna keep 1,000 because I know what it is.
Yeah. So we're gonna switch gears here for the last 4 or 5 minutes, brother. So, article in the New York Times: why more Black women should consider marrying white men, right? So, article came out. It was stating that Kamala Harris and the new Supreme Court Justice Brown Jackson both have white husbands, right? And so the article also reads that, you know, Black women are left with a paucity of Black male partners due to basically racism. All right, so they really dressed up the article. What does the team think about that? Because basically they're saying that, you know, Black men are less likely to finish high school and 50% less likely to get a higher education. And both of these Black women achieved their status or got to where they got to mainly because they have a white partner. So we all have Black sons. Each and every one of us have Black sons. We're already married to Black women. but our sons have to grow up, right? And so if our sons choose to say, okay, I'm going to take the entrepreneur route, or racism is still what it is, and I'm still going to kick life in his ass and move on the way I'm going to move on. It may cut down his. They're saying that black or white or black women should look elsewhere if they want to achieve success in corporate America.
Again,
Go ahead.
I would say we got to stop giving light to articles like this.
But it's out
Because
there though,
hold on, I got that, Frank. But for one, the same way, my man who coached St. Peter's just got the job at Villanova. He got a Chinese wife. There's successful black men who aren't married to black women. So we got to stop giving light to these articles and things like this that put this kind of stuff out there. Just because these women are married to non-black men doesn't threaten the black men at all. Because for every two of them, how many other successful sisters that's doing big things that do have black husbands?
Right.
So we can't give light to these narratives just because they're written in these publications. Like, look at how many brothers that have achieved stuff and they don't have black wives. That doesn't make them less black, or doesn't mean that they're not doing stuff for their community. So these kind of narratives, like, they create a division that may not actually be there. So what happens, we're subconsciously thinking that this stuff is evolved. It's just like when we see the things of the alphabet community. Like, they try to put these oppressions that, hey, these things are out there. But if that's not really what's going on every day, we got to stop giving those things light.
But this is what's going on, and so
it's like I said, it's a lot of
President Obama is biracial. They not putting a black man who got a black mom and dad in office.
But it doesn't make him less
Harris
black.
Is married to a Jewish white man. They're not putting Michelle Obama as the vice president. I mean, the reality is what it is. It's no different than the reality in the music and rap that our young sisters listen to about going out there and tricking on niggas and tricking on guys. This article is written by another black man, right? And so when he sees the reality, he tells the story, and we have to address it. I mean,
so what about the brothers that's successful and aren't married?
It's not about the brothers. This is about the sisters.
Right, but what I'm saying, it doesn't make these sisters less black because they love someone. They're married to someone who's not black, or
go ahead.
Or doesn't mean that they're less connected to the black community, or that they wouldn't have these opportunities just because they're married to this. We're taking this writer's opinion of his version of what he sees and saying, well, if they wasn't married, Kobe, he didn't have a black woman. That didn't make him less successful.
But Kobe didn't run a public office though either. Kobe wasn't in charge of laws and legislation. We're talking about two of the highest chairs in the land. And you show me some black women that are married to black men that hold those kind of, even on the public sector, on the local sector, like you may find a little more. But when you talk about getting up there and really controlling people, it doesn't. They don't look like the family doesn't look like our family. The family doesn't represent us,
and it never will. It never will, and that's fine. And just like Miguel was talking about earlier. And what I actually saw, Morgan Freeman. He was on some show, and the dude asked him, "Do you think racism holds the black community back?" And he said, "Today, no." He said, "No, absolutely not. Today it doesn't." And I was reading the comments and stuff like that. This was actually right before we got on the show. Reading the comments, and I'm like, and it's a bunch of people defending, defending their point of, it does da 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 da, and all I saw was just a bunch of black people victimizing themselves. Right? It's like at this point we don't have to worry about the white folks don't have to worry about us stifling ourselves, because we do it. We take these narratives and we apply it to, because I have no problem with talking about it, because it needs to be talked about. But I believe in talking about it to shit on it, pretty much, because okay, those are those two women that have white men. That's the community, that's the space that they're in. Okay, but I can sit here. I know and I see in my world plenty of black women that are doing some crazy things in the community. Like, I'm talking about like shifting not just the culture, but actually making real life power moves. So at the end of the day, it goes back to not having to rely on a white person or this system to make the life that we already are owed, for real. We don't have to. I'm not asking nobody else about my fucking birthright. I'm not asking nobody else. I'm not asking nobody that. I don't care what anybody says about what I'm supposed to be. I know what I'm supposed to be. I don't care what the president, I don't care what the judge, I don't care what nobody says what I'm supposed to be. I know that I'm going to continue to build my community. I'm going to produce more millionaires than anybody's ever seen out of a black community. I'm going to make a certain area in the black community the mecca of black empowerment. Nobody's going to stop that. A president can't stop that. No, if God forbid me and Jay divorced and I got with a white woman, that wouldn't stop that, right? So what I'm saying is, I don't want to give. I want black folks to stop giving so much power to white people, Asian people, other races, because at the end of the day, in this society, what we have right now, we have everything. We have the world at our fingertips, and we can do exactly what the fuck we want. So if that's the case, stop being a bitch and stop being a victim, and man up, black up, brother up, sister up. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Make the life that you know that you want. Nobody's stopping you. Stop putting that. Stop feeding into that. Because at the end of the day, like I said, in the pandemic, I saw more millionaires get made than anything in the black community.
And with that said, y'all are now listening to the Root Cause Podcast, where we like to have the hard conversations on everything. Fellas, we barely touched the tip on this conversation, on all of this, man. I appreciate everybody. Hey, let's shout out your businesses. Let's shout out what you got going on. DJ Shane, let's go.
Man, check us out on the Underground Lab Radio. Every Wednesday we do the Wind Down Wednesday. We got a show every other Friday, so stay in tune to the Underground Lab Radio. You can catch us on IG at TUL Radio. And the Hustle and Motivate Conference coming up August 21st through August 27th. We're going to be in Cancun, Mexico, changing lives. Not only will we have a great vacation, we're going to learn how to hustle and also motivate the people around us to go get it too.
Miguel.
For sure. Look, hey, y'all know who I'm is. Come check us out. You want to follow me, Miguel 1B, and Come Alive Inspirational on IG. More importantly, my TikTok. Not my regular TikTok, I be bullshitting, but my other John Get Work Miguel. That's what I'm doing on my little fitness and everything, and trying to keep people motivated on that and workouts and things like that. But the bigger thing is Marriage Moments with Miguel and Kim. That thing drop every Friday, 12 a.m. like clockwork. That thing's scheduled. It's coming. It will be there. You know what I'm saying? 12 a.m. We come through, like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. You can follow us. All our links is on the fly. You can look us up on Marriage Moments with Miguel and Kim on IG. We on Facebook too. Come check us out, follow us, see what we doing, see what our family doing, and get with us.
LT dropped the mic and said, "I'm gone."
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves me. Hey, family, I want y'all to go ahead, check out Pivotal Operational Practices. Is local VA services. Is my favorite VA services and one that you need. Go ahead and stop struggling with your business. Check them out today. Great prices. Also, Calculated with Love is still out there. Go ahead and grab your copy at calculatedwithlove.com. It's a great book with a riveting story. All right, fellas. Until next time.
Yeah.
we out.
Yep.